Best Buddies
Oh, hell, I don't
Chicago.
know if they can hear me.
Yep, I can hear you, Otis. Um, so we're really excited to present to you today about Best Buddies, our jobs program, and the opportunities that we have for all of you to get involved with us. So as I mentioned, presenting with me will be Otis, who is a participant in our jobs program. And he currently works at the law firm Holland and Knight as an office assistant and at Blink Fitness as a front desk associate.
Best Buddies is a global movement that is dedicated to promoting the inclusion of people with intellectual development disabilities in all aspects of life, especially when it comes to friendship, leadership development, and living in the workplace.
And as Otis said, one of the things that's so exciting about us is that we truly are a global movement. We have a presence in over 50 different countries. And in the United States, we actually have a presence as well in all 50 with state offices in 27.
Best Buddy has four mission pillars. They are friendships, leadership development, living, and integrated employment. Our biggest program is our friendship program. In this, we create friendships between people with IDD and without. We do this both through chapters at elementary, middle, high school, and colleges, but also through our citizens programs, which partners with companies and local organizations, create friendships among from age adults among from any ages 18 to 99. Our leadership development pillar is largely made of our ambassadors program, which empowers people with and without IDD to become advocates in the mission by providing public, public, public speaking skills and opportunities. Our newest program is our living program. Only in California and Washington, D.C. currently, this pillar sets up co-housing opportunities for people with and without IDD to live together in communities that promote friendships and social lives for all involved. Finally, we have our jobs program, which we will spend most of our time on today. This pillar, as you can guess, helps connect people with IDD with jobs so they can earn an income, pay taxes, and support themselves.
And our jobs program is a national one. So we have a presence in quite a few states. We're actually lucky in Illinois to have one of the largest jobs program, which allows us not just to work out of our state office in Chicago, but also here in Peoria and the Bloomington and Normal area, where our central office is located. And our jobs program is so important to us because there is unfortunately a 81% unemployment rate nationally for people with IDD. And while this obviously means that these people don't earn a paycheck that they can use to support themselves, it also means that they miss out on the other benefits that come with having a job that are so important, including having a sense of identity, getting that sense of community with your coworkers, and the lasting friendships that can be made while you are at work. Our jobs program started in Chicago in 2014 and expanded to Central Illinois about a year ago. Since we began, we've placed over 51 individuals in integrated employment across a wide variety of industries and in a plethora of different roles. You can actually see Otis in the picture right there on the left outside his law firm, Holland and Knight. On average, once we accept a participant into our program, it takes about 5.5 months until they're hired, as we also provide them with intensive career exploration, workplace readiness and professional development skills so that we know they're ready to hit the ground running after their first day of work. And what really shows the success of our participants in their new jobs, I think, is that 85% retention rate for all of our participants in their jobs. So what this means is once they are hired, they stay in their jobs and for the long run, and they really turn into enthusiastic employees that are huge assets to their companies. And just as our jobs or excuse me, just as our participants placed in jobs get lots of personal benefits out of it, we also recognize that their employers benefit in ways beyond just the work that they do. Our participants automatically help improve the diversity and inclusion efforts at the companies where they work. And our research has shown that improved diversity and inclusion programs, um, that with improved diversity and inclusion programs, the workplace is improved and so in several different ways, from a positive transformation of company culture, brand enhancement, and the boost it can give to corporate and responsibility initiatives.
There are lots of business benefits that come with hiring people with IDD. For one, it is cost-effective solution to addressing business needs. We find that lots of tasks can be taken off employees' plates and carved into new roles that often perfectly align with workers with IDD skill set. For example, if multiple employees have tasks that are repetitive and need to be covered on a daily or weekly basis, it takes up a considerable amount of time. It also can be great to turn those into new job opportunities for someone with IDD. The new employee will thrive in the repetition and comfort of the task, while the employees who use to do them will have lots of time on their calendars open up with which they can fill with more time consuming or treatise projects. An added bonus is the lower absenteeism and rates of slick leave that is typical for workers with IDD. Once they are given these tasks, they can be counted on because they love their jobs and responsibility so much that it is often very difficult to get them to take any time off. These are just a few of the many examples of ways businesses can benefit from hiring the diverse community of people with IDD.
Yeah, and one kind of case study that we have that really shows this is one of our participants, Ken, who works at Trader Joe's. Um, he's been there for a long time and actually went through a management and store change at his store. And without actually introducing ourselves to the new management, we actually heard from them directly um, once they took over and had been there a few weeks, just to let us know how huge of an asset Ken was to their store. He was someone who smiles at all the customers, is always cracking jokes, and they're just kind of as they took stock of what they had and the employees they had when they took over, they really quickly identified him as somebody who they needed to keep on, wanted to give more hours, and actually wanted to give a pay raise because he was such an asset and improved that customer satisfaction at that store so much.
What really makes Best Budget Jobs program work is that we are participant focused. What this means is that we find employment opportunities that match the interests and skills of our participants. So we know that will stay motivated and committed to their jobs. For example, I love being physical active and working out. So I was placed at Blink Fitness, where I am surrounded by that and people who are like me every time I go to work there. I am also passionate about continuing to improve and gain new technology skills. So in my role as an office assistant at Holiday Night, I'm always learning and mastering the newest trends and technologies that keep our office running smoothly.
And so, in addition to the support we give to our participants, there's also a lot of support and benefits that we give to employers who hire our participants. Um, we will always be there for orientations and trainings at the beginning of a placement. So, our participants are there with a job coach who helps make sure that they're comfortable, can answer any questions, and really make sure that um, they hit the ground running and are able to pick things up easily and are there to support. We also continue on throughout the whole life cycle of their employment at that job. So at the beginning, that really looks like retention support, where a job coach will be there maybe for all of the shifts 1 week, um, and then slowly step away. So maybe they're coming every other shift and then maybe once a week, until at the end, they're really just kind of there maybe once a month, once every other month, because that participant is just thriving in the independence and is very comfortable in that job. Throughout that time, we provide consistent communication to everyone involved. So whether that be the supervisor, the relationship manager at the employer, whoever needs to be kind of kept informed about how things are going with our participants, we're happy to communicate that with them, to make sure that everybody's always on the same page and that everyone is always feeling supported, and that our participants and employers are set up for success. And what we have found in the support and guidance is that people with IDD are not just able to earn more income, but are also able to work more hours. So there really is an untapped resource out there when you consider that 81% of the community currently does not have a job. There's that resource out there that companies can tap into, and just with a little bit of support really in the beginning in terms of getting up and running, and then also that retention support, you can see that these new employees can work a lot of hours per week because they're given those supports that help them get comfortable and really thrive in their job. And when it comes to right now, obviously, it's a little bit harder to be there whenever we want to help our participants because of COVID. So one thing that we're really proud to say is that despite all of the challenges that have come with this and coronavirus this year, is that our program is still working away. We've been able to provide remote supports to our participants through specialty applications on the phone, on their phones, through FaceTime, through email check-ins, and then on occasion also able to attend their work sites, since many of our participants are essential workers. We've really boosted our training offering, so our participants have entered the workplace with more training and more skills than they did before. And these are just some of our employer partners across the nation. And we like to just include this to really point out that we have participants who work in such a wide variety of locations, companies, and really types of work. They have everything from retail stores to real estate management companies, um, with FedEx and logistics to restaurants. Really, any type of workplace that you have, we can find someone, uh, one of our participants who's interested in that line of work, and really set you up with a worker who's going to bring great skills to your company and do great things. And one example of this is the is Rhea's Law. So where Henry Kim works as a file clerk, and I'll just read this quote from one of his supervisors, an attorney there. Henry has been a delight. He is an eager worker who enjoys learning, and once he knows how something is done, he is great at consistent work. His honest and bright personality brightens not only my day every time we interact, but also I know most of the 8th floor as well. I am happy to experience working with Best Buddies and look forward to my continued time with Best Buddies and Henry. And this is, I think, really true, and we get so many quotes like this from all of our employer partners. It's just that our participants bring their bright and personalities that really brightens every day out when they're at work. Our participants love their jobs. They love the responsibilities that they have. They love the work they do. And it's very, very contagious wherever they are.
Beyond just hiring one of our participants, we also have other ways you can engage with us right now virtually. Every other week, we have Workplace Wednesdays, where we welcome a guest speakers to discuss their career path or teach a skill. We also are constantly engaging our participants who are searching for jobs with marked video or phone interviews with volunteers. This can be done individually or at an event with a company like Crushman in Wakefield. Let us know if you're interested.
Great. Yeah, and that's our presentation. And I'd like to just open it up to any questions you may have.
Question.
Any questions about Best Buddies, our participants, or the jobs that they do?
In the chat box, one question that was asked is, what is the process of matching individuals with jobs?
Yeah, so that process, really it starts with the participant. So we meet with them, we get to know what they're interested in, what their skill sets are. And then we just start looking for any connections that we may have. We start looking at what's posted online, and go from there. Really, we are participant focused, so we start with them and see what they're interested in. But also, like, we've had employers reach out to us as well and say, like, hey, I have this job. I'd love to get one of your participants in there if you have anyone. And a lot of times we do. So we also go that route as well.
Robert Clary also asked a question about a support to assist in transportation, and I'd like to answer this one personally, Kevin.
Yeah, go for it.
Robert, I actually have a participant that was just hired last week, and they do need transportation. They're on one of what we call the outliers of Peoria, like the Dunlap Fringe, areas like that that aren't necessarily accessible through traditional transportation in Peoria. And yes, we do connect them with the agency that would provide them that transportation, help them get that set up and established, and help them learn the process of how to empower them really to learn how to establish and get their own transportation coordinated for each shift. So we do assist them in the transportation process. We just do not provide the transportation to them. Carissa, I know you recently reached out. What other questions do you have just learning about the program? I'm calling you out, sorry. Robert, I saw you asked about volunteering to assist with mock interviews. I will put a link in the chat box for you as to where you can sign up to do that. And Carissa, sorry for calling you out. I'm just glad that we're able to provide some resources for you and information for your community.
Any other questions?
Hi all, I just wanted to chime in here. I'm Flynn, the Deputy Director of our Jobs Program at Best Buddies, and just wanted to thank you all for joining us. I just wanted to see if we could get a quick, just for our end, you know, understanding of everyone who's on the call as well. If anyone wants to just kind of say if they have any opportunities for our participants, if they have any individuals they think might be a good fit for our program. Or if you can think of kind of any other resources in the Peoria, Central Illinois area that we might need to tap into. So if anyone has any of those suggestions or answers, we'd love to hear those from you all. Okay, well, if we don't have anything else at the moment, we can feel free to use our emails that I think were on the event, and we can also just put them in the chat box. We have them here. So again, there's mine, and then Sunny's, who is in charge of the Central Illinois office for our as our employment consultant there for our participants. But if you have any contacts, any participants interested, anything else that you think would be really helpful to share with us, we would love to hear from you all.
All right, I just want to say thank you again to our presenters from Best Buddies. We'll be posting the video. Feel free to share with your coworkers. Keep an eye out for a post-seminar survey. Also, you can sign up for our e-newsletters and keep an eye on the events calendar on our website at peoriachamber.org. And again, as stated before, feel free to reach out to myself or the presenters with their contact information there. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you.